Guys, get excited. Atem has arrived. Well, bam! Guys, Yami Sorceress here. I don't even need to introduce myself. That is not the importance right now. The importance is that Atem has arrived. I'm so excited. So, while I'm getting this open, from my last video when we were unboxing Joronji, is that, yeah, the vote's gonna have to be moved to next week. Point is, go back to that video or even go to the bottom here, comment which one of the figures you want me to unbox again. So I'll go back to the other video, take those votes as well. But, okay, we are down to Seto Kaiba, the nice Merrick, however you want to go about it, or the evil Yami Merrick. Yeah, I know you all want that tongue face. I know you all want it. So anyway, go to the bottom, vote. In the meantime, Atem. Christmas has come early. Christmas in March, y'all. Yep. Yes! I promise to be more calm. But first off, the box. I mean, I love where they went with the box. They're going with a gold theme. So they have the black transforming down into the nice orangish gold and then the very nice yellow. It's sort of like something that you would see sunsetty or kind of like related to all of his gold that's on his arms, on his puzzle, on just everything gold. So yes, for those who do not know, this is the first printing of this figure on the Kotobukiya line. So Atem has never been released up until this moment. And I have to say, please release more of their figures in their Egyptian past selves, especially Priest Seto. But similar to the last unboxings is that for the Kotobukiya line, I like to compare some of the boxes already. This kind of gives you an idea of how large each of the figures are. So right now, Atem is pretty much the medium one when compared to Yami Bakura and Joronji. So, well, sorry, Joey. Joey still has the smaller box. Atem, you're pretty much in the middle, and nothing is going to beat Bakura's box. I mean, that pose of his with his arms straight out, that's pretty much the reason why he has the larger box. So don't feel bad, you guys. In fact, I like your smaller boxes because I can store you guys easier. Let's take a look at everything that you need to know to make sure that if you pick up your own Atem, do it. Make sure that you look for the following logos and sticker to make sure that it is authentic and you are not being ripped off, because this is too precious. Like most figures, take a look for the NAS sticker. It should be black, should be at the top right there. Also, similar to all the other Kotobukiya products, especially from the Yu-Gi-Oh line, look for the Kotobukiya symbol, as well as the ARTFX-J at the bottom left, well, if you're staring at it, left corner of the box. This is also the same for every single side of the box. So Kotobukiya down there, backside Kotobukiya. The only side that should not have anything, but it should have the Yu-Gi-Oh logo at the bottom here, is the side that's portraying the entire figure of Atem. And finally, you can't forget the best part about it. Going to the bottom, do not eat this. Don't let your kids eat it. Don't let your grandma eat it. That's not good. This is bad for you, in case you didn't know that already. All right, moment of truth. Cut off the tape. I want to see you. And while I'm opening this, guys, I know I made a giant deal about the inside of Joronji's box in the last unboxing. Nope, Atem wins. Atem wins so much. I'm actually just going to use this as a display. Not only is it shiny, there are hieroglyphics. Hieroglyphics throughout. The nice thing is that you can take these out. It's really meant for this purpose. Thank you, Kotobukiya. You could take it out and display your character within it. And it has the puzzle cutouts. Gosh, I just love this line. I love this. Ugh, I said I was going to calm down. Sorry, it's not going to happen. Directions off, because we are totally smart. We don't need the directions. I say this as I start opening them. You know, looking just briefly at the directions is that, yeah, for this one you might just want to refer to it a little bit, because the main thing with this figure is that the main removable part, it's not the changing of the dual disc anymore, because we kind of don't really have that back then, except for the gold one. It's his cape. So refer to the directions. At least I will, because I don't want to break this. All right. Moment of truth. I mean, already getting off the plastic and stuff, but the paint job, amazing. Okay, here he is. I will zoom in just a moment. But the only other spare piece that this kit comes with, and I'm so happy about it because I hate storing a lot of pieces, all you have is just one hand, so one fist hand that you can replace. So zooming in now, you now get the full idea of what this figure looks like, how it is displayed, and just absolutely everything is in proportion. The paint job is phenomenal. I can't stop looking at the cape, not just because I'm behind it, but just the shadows, the sculpting, everything that really went into this cape. And first off, it's not delicate. But at the same time, obviously, if you drop it from a good height, it's going to crack, especially up in this area. But it's really sturdy, and I like that. It's kind of impressive how it's even staying on, and it's not kind of like drooping down on the figure. So whoever sculpted this, good job, because that took a long time. Let's start with the face, is that I like his expression. He's not angry. I mean, of course, when Yami goes very angry, you can see the slantiness in his eyes. With this, Atem has more of a nicer expression. Sort of like the show-off pose, because please, you're just flipping the cape. But in addition, take a look at that, just everything about him, not just his cape, everything is sort of animated in a way that it's more of an action pose. This goes all the way to the earrings as well. The earrings are not drooping straight down, and that's impressive for me. It really shows that the sculptor took their time to really give more of an in-depth expression to the figure. Now, with that being said, tiny little things like that are what really is going to make this figure very fragile. And I'm just discovering something right now that's a little bit worrisome, and it's going to be one of these things that I just pose and never touch again, is that the earrings, they are loose. They can be moved ever so gently and slightly on his ear. So there is a little bit of a hole in the ear where the little bit of the plastic loop goes through, and that's probably the most delicate area on this figure. So be warned when you get this, because if you play around with these earrings too much, they will easily come off. Do not pull at all. All I would suggest is just moving them slightly back and forth. Now I'm bringing back the original Yami figure from the same Kotobukiya line. Already I could see so many improvements, so many differences. Obviously the height for both of these figures, still the same. They are still the same scale. Paint job wise, especially on the hair, is completely different, even sculpture wise. So let's just take a look first at Atem. First off, facial features, gorgeous. Absolutely flawless in my opinion. I love everything about it, from his eyes to his nose to his mouth. But let's just take a look at the hair. The hair is sculpted so well, but aside from that, is that the colors that they use for his red spikes in the back is that they're not red. It's obviously there's red in there, but it's not solid red. There's some purple, some shadows going throughout of it. And the sculpturing is that you don't really see a lot of the creases or any sculpting problems throughout his headpiece. And that's really nice. And one more note is that for like his top spike, you could see here, is that it's not just one spike. We have these smaller little spikes. So a little bit of a frazzled look for his head. Now quickly, let's just take a look at Yami. Now this was the first printing that came out way back in 2011. But immediately you can see there is a difference, especially with the paint job, is that there's not a lot of shadow going throughout. The frazzled look is not there. It's just a giant spike. Turning him around is that we do have the same problem. Sure, there's a little bit of shadows going throughout his spiked look, but not as well defined as what we are seeing with Atem now. His hair is even slightly faded. There's a huge improvement in the paint job. And finally, with Yami is that you do see some sculpting seams. Particularly on the top of his head, you do see a crease line right about there where the sculpture was attaching some of the spikes. With Atem, you really don't see any of these seams, and that's really nice. Now, there's nothing wrong with the Yami figure. I love my Yami figure, but compared to Atem right now, is that I'm preferring the darker looking skin. The Yami looks way too pale, almost sickly pale. So moving back to Atem and looking at the rest of his figure, so now we're going to the chest area. The nice thing is that now Kotobukiya decided to attach the Millennium Puzzle. Whereas before, with the Yami figure, is that the chain with the puzzle was detachable. You can get it on, you can get it off. I personally like the fact that it is attached to the figure. It's not really going anywhere. He doesn't appear without his puzzle. It just has to be with him. Detail-wise on the puzzle is that very similar to the rest of the Kotobukiya line, as well as other Yami figures, is that they do take the time to carve out each individual piece of the puzzle, each little groove. It's not just a solid pyramid shape. And the Millennium Eye on the front of the puzzle, it's really well done. This is another delicate area on the puzzle, so I would not play with it too much. And there is a little bit of a sculpting mistake. You can't really see it, but on the side that's pressing up against his chest on one of the edges here, it just seems like there's a little bit more resin. It wasn't shaven down completely. This isn't a problem though. Tunic-wise is that they did add a little bit more shadows, and I absolutely love the wrinkles that they put in certain places on the fabric as well. You'll remember from my last unboxing with the Joronji figure is that I was disappointed by Joronji's shirt. It didn't have a lot of grays and shadows throughout. It almost came off as completely matte white. So in this case is that they kind of went back and improved it. So now there's a little bit more shadows going throughout the white on his tunic. And I particularly love this area. So we have a little bit of a blue with white details throughout, and the white does make it. Sort of like the light capturing on this tunic. And the very edges, it's a nice flat white. Now the whole figure is a matte finish. There's no gloss. The only glossy areas are the gold, and I think that's a wise choice, is that I do prefer glossy figures to matte finishes most of the time, but I think with Atem, he's supposed to be ancient, the ancient pharaoh, and when we think about Egypt and gold, for example, we think shiny, glossy, whereas the rest of it, not so much. So in one way, I really applaud them for keeping with just the gold to be the gloss finish, and keeping the rest of the figure matte. And finally, looking at the shoes, is that, whatever you call these, I have no idea what the proper term is. Golden calf huggers. There we go. Golden calf huggers are really nice. And there is a little bit of a paint mistake. You really can't tell, once again. On the back is that some of his skin color is slightly going into the golden area. But trust me, even if your figure has this, you really can't tell. And shoe-wise, I mean, sure, I was kind of expecting, you know how he has that detail at the top of his shoe? I was kind of expecting there would be, like, at least one of those stripes would be blue. But it's not like I look at Atem's shoes very closely. But this goes back to ancient Egypt. There is not much color. And if there was color in the clothing, it was pretty much owned by royalty. But the shoes, yeah, pretty much it's going back to that era that you will pretty much have white shoes understandable. And they're not even white, it's sort of a beigeish color. But continuing down is that now the stand has changed. With all the other Kotobukiya figures, they're on gray concrete rock. Whereas back in ancient Egypt, well, we pretty much did not have gray concrete rock. Instead, you had plain beige rock. We're going into a geology lesson here. So flipping him to the backside, just so you could see what it looks like from a back point of view, there's not much to really say. You're pretty much just getting the whole cape. Obviously, in the next couple minutes, we'll take the cape off and see what he looks like on the backside. But really, you have to admit, the cape is gorgeous. The color is phenomenal. Just everything that they chose for this. You could see that there's some black, there's some white, there's some purple. There's even another shade of purple in there to really capture just the dynamics and the art on this cape. It's phenomenal. I can't say anything more about it. It's just beautiful. You know, now that I think about it, I really want a cape like this. Wonder if I have some purple fabric around here. Alright, so now comes the time that I'm going to try and get this cape off so that you can see him if you choose to pose him without the cape. But let's see if I can figure this out without breaking down and reading the directions, even though I just glanced and peeked at them. But anyway, if you take a look, his left hand is holding the cape slightly, so that has to come off. That hand is pretty much attached to the cape, which is why they gave us an extra hand. Which, by the way, that extra hand, I wish that the camera would zoom in and pick this up better, but it has such detail to it. From not only just the fingers, but they even went so far as to include rings on his pinky and his ring finger. And that's just nice quality right there. As well as the one on the ring finger, it does have a nice little green dot of a gem in it. But even his thumb as well. His thumb even includes his fingernail. So once again, I mean, Kotobukiya just does an amazing job quality-wise all around. Alright, let's get down to business. Let's try and do this without breaking or without acting stupid. Alright, the nice thing is that, yes, it is this hand that's holding the cape that does come out. But now that I think about it, yeah, I'm an idiot. You're supposed to remove the head to get the cape off. So how does your head come off? Ugh, with all your jewelry, I'm so scared. Okay, it doesn't get... It's a nice, secure fit. Sorry, I decapitated you. God, you're handsome, even decapitated. But it's a nice, secure fit. It will come off. I mean, just take a look at that for a moment. So it will come off very easy, but it will stay very secure. So with that, putting your head to the side there, sorry, you can get, supposedly, this hand, well, okay, you can lift the cape up first. This is why they included directions. So you can lift the cape up slightly, and there you go. A cape attached with a hand. So, pretty complicated, especially for the sculptor who was doing this. But all in all, I do like the fact that you only have to keep track of either one tiny hand or one giant cape with a hand attached. It's going to be pretty hard to lose this. So a little bit more on the puzzle is that with the Yami Yugi figure, it was the same deal, that you can remove the head and then remove the puzzle, is that with the puzzle, is that it's just slightly attached to the back of his neck and not in a very secure manner. Let's put you back together. So this is much easier. The hand goes in very well. Unlike some of the other figures where the hand was coming off very easily, Atem's new regular fist hand goes in very well. Oh man, your earrings are driving me insane. And include your head. Come on, become human again. There we go. And there you have it. So you can either display him with the cape or without. And you know, now that I look at it, maybe I don't want the cape. Oh darn. The decisions. So turning him around, because this is really the side we have not seen because of the cape, is that we're seeing pretty much the exact same thing with the kilt, the paint job, as well as the gold. But now there's just so much more gold detailing I find with this wrapped around chest plate here. And I really just love the way that they sculptured his back. It does hug him pretty well. You can even see where as you get closer to the spine, it sort of dips into that area, if you ever look at a back. Yes, everyone, we're going and taking an anatomy class. Now, the only thing that bothers me slightly with the backside is that his chest is not removable. So I'm wondering, there is a little bit of a seam that connects the belt with the torso half, and really they probably could have added a little bit more resin just wrapped around this whole entire base here. It sort of seems like maybe in their first production when they were tossing around ideas, maybe his chest could be removable. Maybe they were planning to make him have a chest that was topless, sort of like that of Malik, which would have been awesome. But seriously, not complaining at all. This is just an amazing figure all around. From the gold is just absolutely beautiful on every part of him. But from the gold all the way to his regular clothes, his tunic, just the nice matte finish, the nice beautiful, beautiful paint job. And really, we cannot forget his hair. His hair is gorgeous. I love the shadowing throughout. I love how they took the time to sculpt each individual spike, made it a little bit of a roughy look on some of the ends. And please, we'll just finish off by looking at that gorgeous face there. Absolutely everything is amazing. His crown, his eyes, the shape of his eyes, those earrings, those delicate earrings. I mean, guys, you gotta pick one of these up. If you are a Yu-Gi-Oh fan, this is one figure I really suggest that you pick up, especially since he might get a second print. That's a big might. But really, I think that they did this for the 20th anniversary movie and the celebration, whereas probably the next time that we might even get a glimpse of Yami Atem, highly doubtful, will be the 30th anniversary. So this is kind of the chance. Go pick them up. And with that, we will go on to price specs. Alright, so final notes for those who are saying, Yami, I need him. Where can I get him? Please. Yes, don't worry, I have not only my usual sites that I recommend to people, but a new one as well, which is the cheapest. So warning, guys, I mean, even Hobby Search and Ami know something's up, and they jacked up his price immediately when he released. Originally, you could pre-order him for 8,100 yen. Now to get him, you're paying a little extra. Now it's up to 9,000 yen. That's getting expensive, and that's a big, big red flag, pretty much indicating that he's not going to get a second release, or it's going to be a very long time before we see a second release. So pick him up now. Ami. I mean, sure, if you want to, but he is the most expensive on the site. He is at 9,210 yen. Just not worth it. Now, surprisingly, Amazon. Downside with Amazon is that he will not be shipped to you until May 11th of this year. If you can wait, yay. So he is going up for pretty much $90. And I mean, if you have Prime, that's good. You don't have to pay for the shipping cost. Might actually be worth it now that I think about it. But one of the best places at the moment to get him, that it will be authentic, I've ordered from them a few times before, it's nipponyasen.com. Of course, I'll put that in the description for you all. He is going for 7,480 yen. That's pretty much one of the best prices that I've seen out there. Your choice, though. So thank you so much for joining me on this historic unboxing of the Great Pharaoh. Yes, I've been waiting for Kotobukiya to release a line of the Egyptian Yu-Gi-Oh characters. Will we see more from this line? Probably not. I mean, the best chance that we have is a pre-Seto in the future, but now that the 20th anniversary is winding down, I really don't think that they're going to do it. It kills me to say it, but hopefully I'm wrong. But if you guys like this unboxing, if you like all the other stuff that I do, go to the bottom, punch the like button right in the face. See that thumbs up? Thumbs up. Yeah. Even better, subscribe to me. I will love you all forever. Truly, I do. I love each and every one of you. More unboxings to come, and I'm reminding you guys once again, you guys have to vote for next week which one of the next Kotobukiya line of Yu-Gi-Oh figures do I need to unbox. The choice is up to you. Polls will close the next Monday, whatever date that is, sometime in April, and we shall see which one of those is the most popular. And pretty soon we'll get to the loser who has no votes. The choice is up to you. In the meantime, Yami Sorceress is out. Thank you so much for joining me and Atem. Ciao, everyone!